right, we'll go ahead and get started here. You are in activating groups and teams. Is this the right one you wanted to be in? Awesome. Well, I am Lauren Berggren. I am a customer support account manager here at RunSignup, and I work with our info at teams and the account manager team. So my role is kind of a bridge role between the two.
I'm Brian Flynn. I'm a sales rep, mainly in the Northeast, and then a couple outlier states in the far Midwest and stuff like that.
So today's agenda is to try and teach you guys the difference between our three sets of teams we have on RunSignup, and to also give you guys time to talk together about some fun ideas you've had with all your different team types, fundraising types, and maybe some corporate teams. So we'll go over why you should even set up a team feature, basic team definitions, some setup options and pricing options, team reports, and some fun team features. We're going to go over kind of the basics of all, but we always recommend, if you have further questions, to contact your RunSignup representative or info@runsignup.com to schedule a demo or a meeting.
Does anyone know the three team types that we have? Nobody? Does anybody know one? Corporate teams are one. Another, just shout it out. Fundraising teams and groups and teams, social teams. Yeah. So
awesome. We're off to a good start. So why teams? Participants demand teams. We don't have a 2021 stat on here, but you can see the percentage of an overall race is around about 30%. Participants join a team when it's an option, even if they didn't have intentions of joining a team. Some may have no incentive. There's not any swag, there's no fun, but just I think even more now than ever, just being together and participating together in a group. Teams make everything more fun. So from the whole life cycle of a race, you can start with pre-race training and preparations as a group, especially those longer distances, half marathons and marathons, matching shirts and costumes, making it fun that way. Everyone likes to share things nowadays on social media. So race day photo sharing, social media interactions, and also having it lead into your post-race celebration. You can have everything as a theme for your after party and post-race celebratory hangout. Teams as a marketing tool. These can bring the reach even farther than you could have ever imagined. They provide a reason for friends and family to participate together. You can offer price breaks, which Brian will go over in a little bit. And they also make people who may have never signed up for a 5K incentivized to sign up for the first time together.
So raise your hand if you've ever been influenced to sign up for any type of race because of a group or team. Anybody? So 1, 2, 3, 4, myself 5. So, just like that, at least 20% of us in here have already joined a team, and a lot of us probably don't race too often. Probably less than me, but.
So basic team definitions. We have three main categories, as you guys have already guessed. We have groups and teams, fundraising teams, and corporate teams. Do you guys use these functions in your races and events today, or at least one of them? A little bit. Awesome. So the first one we're going to go over is groups and teams. This is probably the one you're most familiar with. This is the feature that is perfect for social reasons, competitiveness, and we find this is the feature that brings in, if you're looking to raise your registration numbers, set up groups and teams. You can make these, as far as awards and results go, you could do a race with the craziest Halloween costume in February. You could do what else? The fastest group. You can make it really competitive for your results. You could do the team that, most participants. Does anyone have any great ideas that they've done within the groups and teams to get people to join in? Kind of out of the wall ideas.
Yeah,
Steve?
I've done a couple of years ago, and I'm thinking about doing it again. For the results, not have the results based on time and based on place within age group.
That's a great one.
So that the 60+ female can be, as valuable as a 21-year-old.
That's a great idea. And that would incentivize that age group to come out. Here, do you have a,
So he was
Oh.
gonna base the results on age groups and kind of cut out like overall, right?
It's,
Um,
well, see, basically, you do it exactly like you do cross. You would do it exactly like you do cross-country scoring. Okay. So, the tricky thing is to develop a tiebreaker.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Another cool idea I've seen in some races that you can do, depending on the nature of your race, is you can score it based on age group. So, or not age group, but age grade percentage. So whoever has the highest age grade percentage. So for example, my mom and I did a July 4th race and she's 67, 66. And I don't know what she placed overall. She was probably like over 100th, maybe 150th. But then when you did age group, she was 6th overall. So that's kind of a cool way to do things, especially for people that are older or super young. I think I did a race with Mara last week, and the second best or third best age group was that 9-year-old boy. I think his age grade was, he almost got me. I think he was 9 and he ran 17 something, 18. Yeah, it was pretty impressive. So it's I like to just look through that feature. I'm kind of a nerd, but it's something you can kind of highlight, and especially that a lot of your people that are racing are 40 and above right now, and you're 40 and above, they're not going to win your races, but they're going to be 70% of your registrants, right? So just kind of give them something to excite them. So highlight this age group, highlight the maybe groups and teams, and then highlight that age grade if you want to. Even for prizes, I've seen half marathons that their prizes are based on age grade and not overall.
That's great. And I feel like now more than ever, having that hybrid model of in-person and virtual team joining, you may have a family member that can run out in California for a race in Pennsylvania, one virtual, one in person, but they can still be on the same team. And also, I don't know if you guys are familiar with our challenge events, but there's a whole slew of cool features just to get everyone involved.
Yeah, we did a step challenge. And I think we had about 40 of our 60 employees participate, and it was fun. We had teams of 4, so it was really fun to kind of get on your teammates and stuff like that. I sent a couple of emails to mine to motivate them a little bit.
Who ended up winning that?
No, we were in 3rd, and then I went on vacation.
Brian Jenkins probably.
No, he didn't do. I take more steps
Oh,
than
he didn't
him,
do
but
it?
he didn't do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Impressive.
But-
Awesome. So fundraising teams. So fundraising teams are a group of individuals that come together to raise money together for a cause. So I work the info inbox a lot. A lot of the big confusion between the groups and teams and the fundraising teams, which we want to clear up today, is that one is for raising money and one is not. They do not work simultaneously. They're separate. So personally, I am an event director on RunSignup for a golf tournament. I use both for 2 different reasons. We use the groups and teams for foursomes. So my participants sign up to play together in a foursome. And then we're also raising money for cancer with our fundraising team. So they work together in 2 separate ways.
You have to set up 2 different teams, or can you use the same team name?
You can use the same team
Yeah.
name, but it's 2 different setups.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they'll see like that very first page of registration, they'll see that social group or team that they'll join. And then once they get to the donation page and fundraising, they'll see where they can join or create a fundraising team. And then you could just make sure that you inform them that you want to join 2 teams, join the same team, anything like that, and incentivize them accordingly, obviously.
Yeah, a lot of times I get questions asking, they just have groups and teams set up asking, why aren't they able to raise money? And they are looking for that on the registration path. So I just direct them to the fundraising team setup. So here is a trivia question. There are 2 things that must be turned on within our system if you want to set up fundraising teams. Does anyone know what those 2 things are? Nailed it. So you must turn on donations first on the dashboard, and then set up individual fundraisers because fundraising teams are composed of the individuals. The great thing about this set of tools is that it's available for participants and non-participants. So just because you don't want to run that half marathon, but you want to raise money for the cause, you can still participate, create a fundraising team, and feel like you're a part of something, even if you don't want to be in the actual event.
And make sure, I'm sure all of you do it, but make sure you test your registration path. See what it looks like as a participant view, because that's what's important. That's what's going to get you signups. That's what's going to do fundraising. So if it's dirty or clunky, or if it doesn't work and you never look at it, you know, there's going to be definitely after effects.
Especially with fundraising teams too, if you do implement this, we recommend putting a how-to page. I'm sure you've seen like our quick tutorials on your race page, so that when people are browsing how to do everything, it's just right there. Tells you how to manage your fundraising team, set one up, add people to it, that sort of thing. We do have a lot of great features within our fundraising teams, like milestone badges. You can upload your own custom ones, like confetti and cool things that go with your race. We have a thermometer, so you can see how close you are to hitting your goal. All these things are on a bunch of webinars on our site, so definitely check those out. It will dive a lot deeper into it. Any quick questions about this fundraising teams? No?
Do you guys know about the new like maybe like 6 months old, the new milestones and badges that you can throw in there? So kind of like Peloton, when you reach a certain milestone, you're going to get that badge that shows up on your fundraising page, or you can do the milestones just like the challenges too. So that's a great way to kind of incentivize people outside of, you know, monetary stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Does that, the fundraising piece, is it only to the charities that are in the donations, or like there could be, you know, say you have 5 charities that people can donate to, can there be like 10, right?
Definitely.
That
Oh, go
aren't
ahead.
in there.
Yes, so you can set up as many charities as you would like. If you have more than one set up, if I were to go donate to your page, I would have the option to choose one, which charity I wanted to donate to.
But if somebody comes on and wants to, I don't know, say, one of our charities isn't, Cancer Society, but they want to raise funds, start a fundraising team to raise funds for Cancer Society. Can they do that, or does that have to be on my end and pre-set up?
That would need to be on your end. They,
Right.
One of the great things that they could do, and we highly recommend this, is you can have your charity set up a direct deposit account. So you don't even need to be the middleman on the money. It goes right into their account. So when someone donates, it goes right to them.
But you can only do just one charity can have that payment right now.
Yeah.
So you can have all donations going to that charity and all of the transactions going to your payment account. But as of right now, you can only have one charity payment account.
So bottom line is the race is controlling what charities they're fundraising for. Okay, thanks.
Maybe. There's been talks of it. I know it's not on development right now, but it's something that could definitely happen. And that's more based on our credit card processor's ability to do that too. So Adyen is better than we've had. So it is feasible down the road. But I don't know. I'm not for sure. As soon as it happens, I know we'll push it pretty hard.
Yeah, I think that'd be super helpful.
Yeah.
So thirdly is corporate teams. Does anyone in here use corporate teams? A little bit. So I would say this is our least popular team function. Corporate teams is a team setup mainly for large corporations and organizations that have a wellness or health event related to their company. And this is how they get their employees and employees' family to sign up. It is a lot more robust and pretty complicated from a user standpoint. So if you do think this is the best solution for your event, definitely contact your RunSignup representative to help you with this. the nice thing about it is if that is what you need, you can invoice the registration fees, and the company chooses their own payment settings. And we really try and only recommend this when you have a really large company and it's like a big bulk of your participants joining the team. So there are some other easier ways to get employees signed up for races. You could do like custom coupon codes or reserve entry links rather than setting this up. But if you're interested in it, we recommend checking out our webinar on it and chatting with someone to see if it's a good fit. So now we are going to go into some group team setup options, because this is definitely the most common feature we have.
One switch sides, like this side's bright.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, let's go. All right. So here's just a basic group type. So 2 or more people are joining the team together, and then you can customize it for every event, a single event, multiple events, however you want to do that. And then you can just go into those advanced settings and drill down a little bit more and just kind of dictate how you allow people to sign up. You can allow them to create new groups. You can have the captain so you can communicate to them. You can limit the size of the groups, maybe for like a relay or something like that. And then even maybe you can implement that age range as well that we were kind of talking about a little bit.
So one thing I wanted to point out on this, I get a lot of questions on where you can put in the size that you want. Sorry, this is bright. For the minimum and maximum of members. This is actually a plus sign button when you go into the setup, so it's not visible right away. So just hit that and it will maximize all of this to see all the options. So this is highly recommended to fill out everything on here.
So a big thing is, especially if you're going to use those groups as something that's going to be incentivized, you can have passwords. So people have to put in passwords. But if you're not really too worried about people joining the groups, if it's not kind of private, you don't have to put the passwords there. And then, I mean, yeah, triathlon's a great example for those groups and teams that you can. And then if you require them to join a group or team, it is definitely going to throw some people off during the registration path, but that's something that you can do based on the registration flow. And like we talked about before, like you can customize it to ask on the first page if they want to join a group or team, so you can kind of grab more people there. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I don't mess with the grouping page very much, so that's why one reason why I'm here. Secondly, so keep it very simple. 5K, there's a lot of running groups in the area, and they want to represent their group. So by doing this, it somewhere in the results page, or how do they know, or how do we know, that they're part of that one group, or is it just for them? Or because I'm kind of trying to grasp this whole group thing.
So I can grab it. Two-part answer to that. The first thing is, if you already do you have like, say, a list of 20, let's just pretend 20 groups, teams that
Usually you have groups that say, hey, I got people that want to sign up, what can we do? Can we do something? Can you give me a coupon code, wherever, just for like $5 discount, something like that. But I mean, would it be more, I'm thinking, can I make it competitive between some of these little running groups that I have in the surrounding areas? Be like, well, yeah, I got, there's other groups, and, and try to see if I can pull more participants.
Oh, yeah. So you can actually preset the groups too. You can, as a race director with admin access, you can set up your own groups. So if you have, say, a list of 20 groups, say running clubs that you want to make it easy in the registration path, like say one's called RunSignup team, I could go in, just click that team and join it really fast. So you have the option to add in your own as well. And then the second part to your question is was it how they know about the team, or how
More for results.
Yeah, the results. So we will show you some of the reports. There's reporting for this, but when you compete on part of a group or team, it is all on your profile as a RunSignup user, and it will say all your team details, your captain and everything. So it's all on your UI and your interface on your profile.
Yeah.
Couple of my races done really well by doing high school cross country teams. And basically what they'll do, I'll set up the cross country school teams. They allow it to about 20 each. Then they find sponsors for those teams. So the kids basically register for the fee and the sponsors cover the team fees. That works out really well because the sponsors get that exposure with the school.
That's
Yeah.
great. Great idea.
Can you set up special pricing for groups or teams or corporate?
Definitely. Any kind of pricing you want. We'll show you a couple screenshots of that here in a bit.
I think it's good.
This microphone. So going back to what you were at with the teams, we do a couple races in this area with a lot of the running clubs and stuff like that. And the first one was a nightmare because everyone has a nickname for their running club or an abbreviation. And we learned, like, after year one, we just told the race director, we have to take over setting that stuff up. And we just put in all the team names and that way it was consistent. And then we just scored it like a cross country meet and it was easy peasy ever since.
And then you didn't allow any new groups or teams to be created.
No.
Just join your drop down.
If they wanted to, if someone wanted to set up a new club, we said, contact the race director, with your club. That way everyone was on the same page. And he was also wanting to make sure it was, a certified club by Roadrunner and stuff like that too. So there were some checks and balances.
Perfect. Yeah. So that's a great way you can set it up like that. Even if they're running clubs that people join in the area, if you want to make sure they only get a discount, which you'll see in a few minutes based on their group size, you can set it up. So, okay, you guys get a $5 discount after the 10th person joins this group. And then people 1 through 9, they'll get a $5 credit with no processing fee back onto their credit card. So that's the little green $5 from RunSignup or whatever it's going to say. And then that 10th person and on will get that automatic $5 discount. The other way you can do it is you can do an automatic discount based on the running club. So if you only have a few running clubs that you really want to prioritize, maybe it's part of your organization or whatever, you can set that up. So once they log into their profile, when they sign up, they're going to get that automatic discount. And that's something with the advanced registration tiles on those display options. That's something you can highlight really well for that club or discount. And it's something you can use to cross promote to get people to join the club. I got my first year I lived in Richmond, I got sucked in that way because I think it was like $20 for my wife and I to join the club. And then we each got a $5 discount on the race. So it's like, well, if we do 2 races, it pays for the club membership. So it's a no-brainer. And they're going to grab us to do more races because of that. So if you just want to get people involved, there's kind of 2 different ways to work those clubs. If it's that discount because you want 10 people there or whatever, definitely set it up here. If it's membership based, then you want to do it the other way, if that makes sense. So
This is kind of what we
yeah,
were just talking about, the joining and the creation of the new team. So this is the registration flow during registration. If you do set this up, make sure you test it yourself before your event goes live. Right after you choose your event, it will say, do you want to join or create a team if you have that set up? And then these are the 2 buttons up here. It defaults on join. You can also click create, and this would be your drop down. So if you end up setting up your own groups and teams for your event, they will be pre-populated in here.
yep. And then they just wouldn't be able to create a team if you turn that off. So that would be gone, right? It would just be the one.
Yep.
Yeah. So we talked about kind of discounts by group and team size, refunds by group and team size, same kind of idea. And then relay style pricing mainly for those triathlons, but still you might have like a marathon relay where you have 3 or 4 legs or whatever. So obviously if 4 people sign up to do a marathon together, they're not going to pay $120 each, but they might pay $40 each. So it might be $160 for that relay where it's $40 a person, or $120 for the actual marathon if you do it by yourself. And then group setup fees are another great way to kind of invoice or set up. They're going to pay $150, and that group gets 10 entries or whatever. So if you don't want to use corporate teams, or if you don't want to use a coupon code because you're worried that people are going to share that coupon code or whatever, you can password protect that group. And then after 10 people, it shuts off or whatever you guys agree to. So this is just setting up a very generic discount. Maybe it's your first year that you're doing groups or teams, you're trying to get people to join, and everybody's going to get a discount or pay a certain amount that joins that team without any incentivizing them to, you know, get more members.
One thing I'll note on this setup, applicable events here, you don't have to do group team pricing for every single event. You can do whatever event you would like. Just make sure you hit the radio button for each. Sometimes I get the question, well, I have everything set up, but when I go to check out and test it, the pricing isn't hitting right. Normally, when I go in and check, it's something in the setting. So maybe they have the wrong event selected or they don't have any selected. So just make sure if you want it for the 5K that this is checked. And you press save at the bottom of the page.
Yeah, always save.
Always save.
Always save, and always go through the entire race wizard and then save that final 7th step. Don't do one thing,
X
save
out.
and continue and think you have your race. So this is just what we talked about. So after the 4th member joins, each following member is going to pay $20. And then you can refund the 1st through 3rd people, whatever the difference is. Everything's automatic. Yep. For pretty much all these discounts are going to be automatic. Nothing's going to be done by hand. Yep.
Like, what I mean is, like, when they register,
Mhm.
instead of each member will pay $20, each member will pay a percentage of what the price is, if there's a price
Not-
index.
no.
No, got it.
mm-mm.
So I use groups for relays. I have relay teams. Can I also use it for groups and teams to create something like this? Because the way I have it set up is only for relays, but I also have groups that want to join, and I haven't figured out a way to do both for one event.
When they do event groups.
So yes, yeah, you can. You would use the,
Category, relay team is a category.
so there's different team type, like group and team types. So you would have relay.
And on the team type, you can indicate like minimum 4, maximum 4 to make sure you have 4 people per deal. Is that what
Yeah.
you do?
Yes, that's why those settings are there. Yeah.
Yep.
Does that answer your question? Okay.
Yeah, it's new, but it's doable. Yeah. So you're like it's more event groups and then social groups. So like the event group within the triathlon and then the social group for your advertisement or whatever. Yeah. And this is just what we talked about. So you're going to refund everybody $5 after the 5th person registers. And then just setting up that relay style prices. So different prices for a relay event, you can charge the captain everything. Each person can pay the same amount as they're signing up, and you can require, you know, X amount of people to join that team. And then you can have that participant management, so you can swap people out if something happens or somebody's not able to do the swim or whatever it may be.
If you turn on the participant management features for groups and teams, that really allows that self-serve model to take place so your captains can figure out swapping members, removing them, anything they may need, which alleviates less work, obviously, for you all. The participant management features, and there's a bunch in there for many things other than just groups and teams, that if you turn on, they'll be able to maneuver from their end. Yes.
Question about relays and participant management. So if we have a half marathon that offers a full, the option to do the 13.1 and a relay, somebody signs up as a single 13.1 and then later they want to join a relay. Is that possible in the participant management section as well? I know there's like a transfer event for non-relay things, but I'm just wondering how the pricing and things like that work out. Does that get tricky? Are we getting in the weeds with that?
So it's 2 different events.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, so you would transfer into the relay, and I believe it is tricky, but we can do that. They can transfer into I think, if there's a spot. It's not a common setup, but I believe yeah, we'll get back to you on that.
Okay, thank you.
I can't
Since-
rattle, yeah,
Since it is different events,
yeah.
it's going to be based on that if they hit that threshold in that relay. So if it's a 3-person relay and there's already 3 members in
You
there,
won't be able to get in.
you're not gonna be able to override that. That's something you're gonna have to do as a race director for them. But if there's an open slot in that relay, and then you can charge them that transfer fee or
I would say
credit,
it's definitely more of a race director handling
right?
than,
Which that probably doesn't happen too often. So it's something.
yeah, yeah.
Most of your transfers, you're gonna see marathon down to half marathon down to 5K or whatever. So you're gonna see people going down. Not often you're gonna see people go up. So this is that setup fee, which is a good alternate to that corporate team. It's just a lot easier. So you can do that setup fee. And then just drilling into your team reports.
So this is an example page from the golf tournament I was referring to. So these are the foursomes that people have used to sign up. So this is on your dashboard and you go under participants, groups, teams, and then view reports. So these are my foursomes from last year. So if you click into one of these, it will show all their names, all their information, who's the captain, and that sort of thing.
Let's skip this next one. So, and then you're able to download those team reports. So pretty much any data that you're capturing through the registration path, through that data collection, you can download into a report and customize that. So a great thing to do is download maybe that captain report, and then you can communicate to those influencers to, say, hey, maybe the biggest group size is 15. Let's see you can get the most members. So you have that, and you can email just specifically to those members.
You can download their names and make them a list in email marketing, and then use RunSignup's email marketing to email them. And you always have captain list as a list.
Right. And then that list will carry over. You can use it for next year too, when you start to market that same event or maybe new events.
You can market those captains to reach out and get new participants. It's all flow.
So Lauren's going to go into some fun team features that.
So this is kind of what we talked about earlier, but just a reminder to get creative and get social. We see about 29.6% of registrants, overall registrants join a team, and normally an average team size is about 6.5%. Keep in mind, it's all free marketing using our features. And I would say social media is just very powerful. And also there's a team, when you join a team, there's a team join link, and just getting that out there and having people send that to family and friends. And that goes the same with fundraising teams as well. There's a fundraising team link. And to learn more of those features, please watch the team fundraising webinar, because there's a lot of fun things you can do. Custom emails. We provide all the messaging. Highly recommend checking that out. But yeah, just make it fun. I think now more than ever, people want to come together. They haven't been together in a while. Creative ideas. And we love to hear your creative ideas. So if you ever do something out of the wall, send us an email, because we would love to highlight that. Questions. I know that was a lot at once, but we just wanted to go over briefly about each team type. Yes.
Going back to your golf function you had. So did the captains log on and make their own team names, or did you have to do that?
They did it. So I just have what? Can you hear me? So what I did is, just to make it really easy, I had an event called foursomes, I think it was called. The price was $125. I didn't set up special pricing. I just had everyone pay the $125 as they joined, with a team max of 4. So they went on, us 4 could all join at separate times until that hit 4. So. Did that answer your question? Yeah. Okay. Anyone else?
final slide there, you had a idea called alternate team option. What did that mean?
So I don't know if that was anything specific. I think it's just, again, thinking out of the box.
You mean just
Rather something different than just joining a team on a registration platform, a cause behind it, a costume, an interest, age group, results. Sort of thing. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming. If you can go to the last slide, our emails are on there. I'm Lauren at runsignup.com. And he's Flynn at runsignup.com. And if you have any questions, please shoot us an email or grab us out here. But we really appreciate you guys coming to this and also for coming to the symposium. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.